We were all watching the first round of the draft. We did a live reaction to it here on Sports Wars on YouTube and on Rumble. And one of the big questions about the first round was going to be Shedeur Sanders. Does he go? For the last several weeks, we'd be hearing about, well, it seems like he's sliding. He might go as far as the Steelers in the 20s, or maybe he might not even get picked. Well, he didn't get picked. There was mass outrage from the media. Then the second day came and went. He didn't get picked either. Shedeur Sanders did not get picked until the 5th round with the Cleveland Browns, who had already selected Dillon Gabriel with an earlier pick. That Cleveland Browns team. And now, predictably, in so many spaces in the mainstream sports media, this is what's happening. They're crying racism. It must be racist for them not to draft a black quarterback, as a black quarterback was taken number 1 overall. You know what I think we really need, Beardo? We need a compilation of Fox Sports or ESPN analysts complaining about it being racial connotations or the reason that Shedeur Sanders was not drafted, as black man after black man's name gets fucking announced. 27 of the first 32 picks in the first round were black players. Yet it must just be because of the color of his skin why Shedeur Sanders has not been drafted. Why Shedeur Sanders getting chosen for the 5th draft round is just more NFL racism at work. You saw so much of this shit, including dumbass Stephen A. Smith accusing the NFL of Kaepernick-level collusion in Shedeur Sanders' draft downfall. And leave it to Stephen A. Smith not only to have a terrible take, but also to tag a random fucking person who is not Shedeur Sanders.
No fucking way, dude. No way.
So this poor guy, Shedeur Smith, who lives in Sydney, Australia, who joined Twitter in 2011, didn't post anything until 2017, and desperately asked Gordon Ramsay to rate his kangaroo meatball sub, and probably didn't get a single bit of interaction until he got tagged by Stephen A. Smith.
No fucking way, dude.
Yeah.
That is hilarious.
But this is a damn disgrace. How in the hell is Shedeur not off the board, not drafted yet? Y'all still think this doesn't have anything to do with teams hating on Deion Sanders? This kid is a first rounder in a different way. This is Kaepernick all over again, being kept out. A damn disgrace. I don't care what anyone says. And then he followed it on with someone texting him. Someone just texted me this message. They're absolutely correct. This is a bad look for the NFL. This feels like Kaepernick-level collusion. All the hard work the NFL league office puts in to eradicate these kinds of perceptions, only to turn around and watch as the owners look like they're colluding, messing up everything. What has been done to Shedeur outside everything else. We'll never believe this is about talent evaluation ever again.
Jeez Louise. What did Portnoy say?
This is, we're going to get to Portnoy's response because it's great, but let's just keep this in perspective. There is a lot more than just talent level that goes in the evaluation of every single player, right? Whether it comes to their intelligence level, whether it comes to their personality, whether it comes to off the field issues, right? These are all things that go into people's decision to make to take somebody with a pick, right? This is also the same NFL where it doesn't matter if you've choked your girlfriend, if you've beat your wife, if you fucking killed somebody in some cases. If you're talented enough, they'll take you. If they think you can help them win, they'll take you and they'll deal with the rest of the bullshit. People didn't think Shedeur Sanders was talented enough in general, especially then to have to deal with all the other entitlement and outlandish shit that him and his father have been saying for the past several years. But here's Portnoy's response. This is insane. All these race takes are insane. I love Deion. I've been saying for 2 years, Shedeur would be my first quarterback off the board. But NFL GMs, coaches, owners will do anything to win games, save jobs. The NFL's cutthroat. Owners would stomp on each other's throats to win. There is no collusion. The first pick was a black quarterback. If teams thought Shedeur and everything he brings could help them win games, when the guy's available, they draft him. That's it. End of story. Every other narrative is fantasy.
There you go. Shout out Portnoy.
But this shit started a month ago with the Ryan Clarks of the worlds and the fucking Emmanuel Achos of the world saying that, well, it's because he doesn't code switch. He doesn't talk like a white person. That's why they don't want him. Shedeur Sanders racism hurting draft stock, says analyst Ryan Clark. Fucking race baiting Ryan Clark at it again. It has zero to do with that. Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels were the first two quarterbacks picked number 1 and number 2. They're fucking black. Cam Ward was picked first in this year's draft. He's fucking black. It has everything to do with the way Deion tried to speak this into existence, gave his kid all of this shit, handed him all this shit, where he wouldn't have gone anywhere. He would have been the fucking quarterback at Florida Atlantic if Deion Sanders wasn't his father. And they said from the beginning, Deion Sanders said multiple times, well, there's a lot of teams I ain't going to let my boy play for. If that happens, I'll pull Eli. There's a lot of, we're not interested. We only want certain teams. The same fucking Deion Sanders. I love this community note, by the way. When someone replied to Deion last year, tell your son, stop act like he's the coldest out there and put up a 4-8 season. Coach Prime, he will be a top 5 pick. Where your son going? LOLOL. I got time today. LOLOL. Community note, Shedeur Sanders was not a top 5 draft pick. And his interviews were abysmal. We now have multiple teams putting out their experience with Shedeur Sanders in their interviews was so bad, not just because of his attitude, but partially because of his entitled, smug attitude and the fact that he didn't know shit. When they asked him to draw things up, when they asked him to explain, when they asked him to insert plays here, he couldn't fucking do it. He couldn't handle it. So they took him off their board. And when you only have 5 teams that are maybe looking to get a quarterback as it is, or at least a quarterback like that, some of them wrote him off their draft board because they didn't fucking want him. It says nothing, absolutely nothing to do with race of any kind. And it's ridiculous. By the way, Jalen Milroe, black quarterback, got drafted before Shedeur Sanders as well. This narrative, it's crazy that so many people in the NFL media that are working overtime to try to spin this as having anything to do with it, when the reality is they are the ones who overhype Shedeur. They are the reason that Shedeur was even considered to be a first-round pick to begin with because they wanted to play the Deion Sanders, primetime Deion. They wanted to play into that. They wanted to help. They wanted to push that. They wanted to push that narrative. They made people think he could be a first-round pick when nobody had him on their board that way. Here's another person who does for one of these networks who scouts and all this stuff. Bobby Burak says, I admittedly don't know how to scout players, so I asked someone who does it for a network. Here's what they said about Shedeur Sanders. Second-round talent, when you factor in his dad, the circus, incessant media coverage, and weird attitude, the risk is not worth the low ceiling he has as a pro quarterback. You feel bad for Shedeur Sanders building out this legacy room, his new sponsor, doing all this fucking shit, having all his homies out there for 3 days while he sat there. Do you feel bad at all for Shedeur Sanders?
I feel bad in the fact that it's super fucking embarrassing. It's super embarrassing. The lead up to it is his number gets retired. He starts this legacy, this legendary brand with this money logo, money squared. I don't know what the fuck that means. Building out that entire room for 100 people in there, and he doesn't get drafted until the 5th round. It's fucking embarrassing, dude. But the thing is, himself and his father are the ones to blame. They shot themselves in the foot for this embarrassment. Their behavior and the way that they've been carrying themselves around at Colorado for the past 2 years is what led up to this. It's all self-inflicted. How many
clips have we seen of in recent months, like him at the combine being like, y'all better not pick me if you don't want me to come in here and change your shit. You stay away from me because we're going to do what we want up in here. Like, that's what Shedeur Sanders said at the NFL combine. Right in front of everybody. How many clips did we see in Colorado of him throwing his own teammates under the bus? Of when they came in there and you had people that Deion basically told him get the fuck out and transfer that were like, talking about shit. And how many times did he attack former teammates of his? All the fucking time. We just saw 5 days before the draft, Shedeur Sanders got his jersey, his number fucking retired at Colorado.
Yep.
Despite going 13-12. because his daddy wanted it to happen. His dad's the one that made Colorado's Pro Day this special event. They wanted to put on this stuff. They wanted to show people like who he was, blah, blah, blah. All of it backfired on them because he's just not good enough in the NFL's eyes. Now, we've had plenty of we've had undrafted quarterbacks that go on to be successes. We have Kurt Warner come from the fucking Arena Football League. We had Tom Brady, 199th overall pick. We know all these stories, right? Mm-hmm. We understand all these stories. So just because Shedeur Sanders not drafted in the first round, falls to the fifth, doesn't mean his story is over by any stretch of the imagination. Maybe this will put a chip on his shoulder, a real one, not the fucking fake one that his daddy's put there. Maybe this truly will wake him up. We can hope. We can hope that that's the case and the Shedeur Sanders, turns things around. But them portraying them out here as victims of racial bullshit, or everybody like the prank call. He got a prank call from some like Ole Miss students pretending to be a Saints general manager and telling him he got drafted. That went fucking viral. Now a lot of people are like, this is unacceptable. This is not to be tolerated. Why would you do this to a black quarterback waiting to be drafted? It's weird. What's that white cornerback's name for the Philadelphia Eagles?
Cooper DeJean.
Cooper DeJean. You know what happened to Cooper DeJean last year?
Yeah. He got prank called last year.
It was fucking videos out there. Was anyone being like, wow, I can't believe they did that to that poor white boy? No, it fucking happens. Like the hypocrisy, the double standards, the insanity over Shedeur Sanders, it's pathetic. And the mainstream media are tearing themselves to pieces in a desperate effort to try to explain to everyone who watched a black quarterback get drafted #1 overall that it's racist, that it's racism is why Shedeur Sanders not being drafted. It's so stupid.